Hi, my name is Andrew Costigan, and I'm a student at Harvard's Graduate School of Education. And at the beginning of the year, or prior to starting there, I had decided that my focus for the year would be on both learning more about just how people learn and also the environment. And what I found was Harvard is currently, like many other schools, trying to reduce their emissions by 30%. This has come in tow with a number of sort of Office of Sustainability type things, speakers coming to campus, et cetera. I found when I first got there, while I was deciding for my courses, a condensed course packet that had all of the classes you could take in the entire university that related to the environment. Although I'm a student of the School of Education, I'm allotted 4 elective classes that I can take anywhere. Not one single class that was held in the School of Education was in that packet. To some extent, and this builds upon what is being talked about right now, education itself seems to be crucial, a crucial sort of element of enacting this kind of sweeping change that, we as a people need to be, have happen. So where do you see the professional education community, those who focus and study understanding itself as opposed to action, as opposed to doing things, as opposed to awareness, where do you see those people coming into this debate? And so just sort of a comment on that.
Okay, I mean, you should come to Lewis and Clark's education program. We have great environmental educators there. I think that, we have a gentleman in the front here who can, I think, speak to that eloquently. So would you like to talk?
My name's Dave Finnegan, and I'm from Penelope's hometown, and she and I have been co-conspiring about Focus the Nation. I've got 2 programs that I'd like to talk to people about. It takes too much time to do it right here, but one's called Climate Change is Elementary, and it's a program designed specifically as a one-day, one-shot, go into the school and get the school excited about climate change, and get the teachers on board, and in the evening we get the parents on board. Because the kids go home and they say, Mom, we got to go back to school. We've got a program on climate change. And the parents come in and we get the parents excited, and then the kids and parents sit down together and make a family sustainability checklist of all the things that they promise they're going to do, and they take a pledge that they'll actually do these things. So now we've got our little monitors who are watching the parents and seeing if they're actually doing what they said they would do. And we're using the strongest force in nature, the one that's never going to run out, and that's the power of nagging by children. And I'm going to be training other people to do this program. I've pretty much got it down pat now. It's a very difficult thing to do because you have to take kindergarten, first grade, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and treat them all differently because they are all different. And so I have special activities for all of them to do. It happens in the gymnasium, and they actually get out and play on the floor and do fun things. They become polar bears and penguins and so forth. So that's program number 1. Program number 2 starts because I got frustrated because I was afraid the parents were not actually doing what we asked them to do. So I created a program called 2 Years to Change. And again, it's a good slogan. It's like Focus the Nation, 2 years to change. We're asking Congress and President Obama to endorse the program, and asking President Obama to be the honorary national chairman of 2 Years to Change. The 2 years, we hope, will be 2011, 2012. And it's all motored by a calendar. And I don't have one here, so you'll have to use your imagination. The calendar goes home with the kids, and these are kids from kindergarten through 8th, 9th, 10th. It could go right up. In fact, college students could do it as well. The first month is change your lighting. The next month is change your insulation. The next month is change your ride to school. And each week, there are curricular elements. The first week of change your lighting is assessment. The kids go home, they count the light bulbs in their house. The next week is evaluation, where they figure out how much they're going to save as a result of changing their light bulbs. The third week is presentation, when they learn how to present this to their family. And then they go home and they actually make a presentation to their parents. Here's what we're going to save if we change the light bulbs. And then the fourth week is action. And this happens month after month after month for 24 months. And the reason it's 2 years to change instead of 1 year to change is there's so many things to do. Also, we have a green savings program tied into this, where the family gets to start putting money aside month 1, so that months 22, 3, and 4, they can invest in the high-ticket items like solar power on the roof, or solar hot water, or even a green car. And so we are just starting with this, and we're looking for allies and friends who want to help us. And I've done some lobbying down in Congress. We've got 3 Congress people aboard now who will endorse this. We're going to go to the National Council of Governors and the U.S. Council of Mayors and get them involved as well. But it's just me, and I'm looking for allies. I'm looking for a way to do this through an institution like Focus the Nation that can add power to what we're doing. But if anybody wants to talk about the ideas, I've got, I'll send you stuff, and you can go to 2yearstochange.org and see the 2 Years to Change program, and climatechangeselementary.com. We have a pretty extensive description of the program, and I'm happy to start training recent college graduates next year to go out and do the Climate Changes Elementary program.
And Dave will be around today and tomorrow. We'll be talking about more action-oriented items tomorrow morning, but I think he spoke eloquently to what we need to do. I want to actually give the last word to Lori Husted, who hasn't raised her hand, but I think she was just really instrumental in making BARD a leader here. So I think we should acknowledge her work with the National Teach-In, and maybe you could just tell us a little bit about the work that's happened here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I didn't raise my hand because you don't know where to start, because it's everything you do all day. And it took, the first year was a year in the making. Everything from having the students bike up to Albany to get the politicians aware, trying to get press along the way, down to, things on campus with the art students, getting them to do an art show. So I think sort of everything that's been said, we tried, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. The first year was hugely important for the network element for the next year. It just cut down my process by probably 10 months to have all the people already involved in my mailing lists. And so I was able to do what I wanted to accomplish for the second year was preach less to the choir and draw people from beyond the circle of community and leaders that already were talking about it. And we narrowed into this stabilization wedge workshop that was based on a Princeton model, where you divide up into teams and sort of bring many of you have probably heard of it, you chart the world missions and bring them down a wedge at a time to a place where we can all survive. And the idea there was to get a BSEP student at each table for the knowledge, so that everyone knew that their team would involve someone that already had some knowledge and they wouldn't be intimidated just to walk in. So when the Italian language professor agreed to do it, she said, as long as I don't have to know anything walking in the door. So I said, yes, you have an expert at your table. And by the way, you have to bring 3 students. So, some of these things, it's hard to bring in people from outside the choir, and she had to come from her class with the students, and that was what we replicated around the room. So that was a much smaller effort, but I think as big an impact in many ways. And now I'm trying to figure out, how to sort of get a plan for next year, which I guess we'll talk more about. But I'm the sustainability coordinator for the college, so this is my everyday, and this singular event is among other singular events that other groups are pushing forward. So trying to cull through and figure out which is going to make the most change and which are the goals for the year. I have to say the college has become incredibly supportive in general about this idea, and there's a lot of movement happening with our undergraduate major and interdisciplinary action, and with even coming on board, obviously, there's a strong commitment to this idea. So the momentum is carrying forward.